Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Terry Hales, and like the rest, I believe, said, thank you for taking your time to come out tonight. Give us an opportunity to talk to you and tell you about us and what we're doing. I am seeking a chair on the Board of Education this year. Let me tell you a little something about myself. Many, many years ago, before some of you were born, I joined the Army, and I enlisted for 3 years and wound up staying 30 years. I got a direct commission. But when I got my direct commission to a second lieutenant, I realized that, of course, I only had a GED at that point. And that was after I quit school, and because my wife is 6 months older than I, she went off to college her senior year, my junior year. I flunked English, and understand that my philosophy on education was, for years, anything above a D is a waste of my time. So, to my surprise, I became unfortunate at the end of my summer school, end of my junior year in high school. So she went to college, and I thought I'd lost my sweetheart for the rest of my life. We've been married 50 years now, next December, so we'll celebrate that. But so obviously I won out of that. But anyway, after I received my direct commission, I knew that if I were going to continue as a commissioned officer in the United States Army, that I had to go back to school. So I acquired over my lifetime, I believe, 3 different degrees, including a master's in administration. Now, unlike the average college student that expects to go to college and live there full time and do all the meals and all of that, I have spent my years of that education as a father going to night school at night. But you know what? If you're determined and you know you're going to do it, then half the battle is won. So my education was accrued that way. But what I learned in the midst of all of that education was the importance of education. And so after 30 years, when I decided to retire, 3 months into retirement, my wife was still a nurse at Baptist Hospital. My 3 kids are grown, and I've got 10 grandchildren, 4 of which are adopted from foreign countries. I've got a diversified family. But anyway, so she comes in from the hospital one day, and she said, "How was your day?" And I said, "I absolutely despise retirement." I was 47 years of age. I found myself listening to and watching the soaps, and I knew that something had to give, because for years I said, people who watch soaps have lost their infernal mind. So that short-lived retirement of 9 days, I got to seriously thinking about what I wanted to do. The truth is, I knew I would work after I retired from the Army. I wasn't quite sure what. I thought about going back to school and getting an undergrad in history, which I love to this day. But the ROTC program came along, so I thought, God, that's a no-brainer. That decision then, 18 years ago, was still the same correct decision when I retired from Davie High School after 12 and a half years. Last July of 13, I retired. So what am I doing here? I have had 18 years of experience in the classroom. I have my finger on the pulse of what administrators go through every day. I've seen that. I looked at that because I thought at one time I wanted to become one. But what overruled that was my desire for children. Those children are the future of America. And each and every one of us, regardless of whether we're retired, it doesn't matter. We have an obligation to those children. And that obligation extends into do everything that we can possibly do to create the need for education, the desire for education in their hearts, so they will graduate high school, so they will go to college and be successful in life and be competitive in life. We as a nation need to be competitive with our world that we live in. What happens in one country affects us in another country. So we're united. And quite frankly, we're losing in the battle to be competitive in major areas of really importance. So we've got to change that. And how do we change that? We change that by encouraging children to proactively go after school, to seek of that education. We help solidify that by, as parents and grandparents, sitting home with your grandchildren and helping them do homework. And for those teenagers at the high school, parents following up and saying, if not directly involved, have you finished your homework for today? Those are the things that are necessary. I got 20 seconds. So I want to leave something with you. The other day, I'm riding down the road putting out political signs throughout North Carolina, throughout Dean County. And I'm riding along by myself and I'm thinking, you know, I'm 69 years old. Wow, I might be the oldest person on the Board of Education. I might be the oldest person who ever ran for the Board of Education. I might be older than anybody in the county. So anyway, my mind is just kind of going through that. And I thought of something. In 1984, when Ronald Reagan was debating, running for President of the United States, debating Mondale, the debate didn't go very well. He had lost a lot of the good answers to the questions, even though he knew them, his mind was just kind of shutting down. But then all of a sudden the moderator asked him, he said, you know, Mr. Reagan, if you become the next President of the United States at the age of 73, you will be the oldest president we've ever had. Well, at that point, Ronald Reagan just opened eyes wide and he kicked right in with that brain of his and he said, and I got to quote this for you, he said, as part of the campaign for a seat, and I'll change that for the Board of Education, I will not make my age an issue this campaign, nor will I explore political purposes of my opponent's youth and inexperience. Thank you very much. I'm running for the Board of Education.